Another day, another witness saying that Diddy threatened to kill him. Hi, I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the resident legal diva, and it's time for another Daily Diddy, bringing you daily trial updates from the P. Diddy trial every day until we get a verdict. So today is day 13, and Mia is back on the stand. Now, if you remember, Mia testified yesterday. She's a former employee of Diddy's, and she gave some bombshell revelations in terms of him sexually assaulting her, being incredibly abusive, physically abusive, just everything. So she's back on the stand today, and she talked about how Diddy had threatened to kill her and threatened to take her to HR. Yeah, interesting. And he did this repeatedly. And this was kind of the weird threats that she became used to in terms of him being threatening violence as well as threatening actions against her employment, which is another way of showing the kind of criminal enterprise Diddy had going on. Mia also talked about how if you fail to follow any one of Diddy's orders, there could be serious consequences. So you could have either gotten fired, she could have lost her job, she could have been emotionally or physically abused. Also, she talked about a time that Cassie had caught Diddy cheating on her while Cassie was out of the country, and she stopped speaking to him. Well, Mia woke up the next day to 48 missed calls from Diddy or Diddy's people, basically trying to get her to find Cassie and get Cassie to talk to her. Also, Mia had worked for Revolt Films, which was one of Diddy's companies, and he decided to close down, the company because he was just kind of over it. So she's like, hello, like, what about my job? Like, what's going on? So she ended up having to hire an attorney to work out severance and all that. She ended up getting $400,000. She ended up taking home only $200,000 because of attorney's fees. When Cassie filed her lawsuit, Diddy was right quick to call her and basically, ostensibly, tried to get her not to testify. She didn't answer the phone. She stayed clear of him because she already knew why he was calling and what he would want her to do. She had talked about also the after effects of everything she dealt with having worked for Diddy. She said she hasn't been able to work since 2017 because now she has severe complex PTSD. She gets triggered when anyone asks her, like, where are you? Or says her name from across the room, again, because of what she went through. Cross was kind of brutal. He really went after her, and this was Brian Steele who did the cross, really went after her, showing pictures and videos, being like, see, that's you and Diddy. Look, you're posting positive things and all of that. And she was like, listen, this was my job. He required us to post, and there were good times, but the bad times outweighed the good times. It is what it is. And she stayed firm with everything she said. She ended her testimony today with some really painful things. She said, in Combs' world, the victims were always made to feel at fault. I was always in trouble and always finding a way not to be in trouble. The defense attorney, Brian Steele, came after her again and was like, are you wrong about, like, Diddy sexually assaulting you? Could you have been, like, mistaken? And she was like, no, 10 toes down. Everything I've said in the courtroom is true. She did talk about being devastated over being fired. And again, the defense was trying to use that to be like, see, it wasn't so bad because you were upset about being fired and you still stayed. So she will be back on the stand on Monday to finish cross-examination as well as have a redirect examination. Of course, in political news, the president was asked whether or not he would pardon Diddy, and he said he'll certainly look at the facts. Of course, a conviction has to happen first. This is a federal case, so he does have the power to pardon. Wouldn't be surprised if he did. See y'all on Monday. Have a great weekend.